Hi, folks, and welcome to another episode of The Franchise Entrepreneur. I'm Pheby, and today I want to talk to you about having no regrets in lockdown. So, how to avoid no regrets in lockdown. Now, if you're like me, you're on a lot of social media platforms, you would have seen an awful lot of influencers, experts telling you what you should be doing over your period of lockdown whilst you're either furloughed or your businesses are closed, etc., etc. An awful lot of people basically saying, this is how you spend your time. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. You should be going on courses. You should be training. You should be coming up with new business ideas, etc., etc. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's no one size fits all. It really does depend on your circumstances. When I talk about what I'm doing and any advice that I do give, it is from a personal perspective, my circumstances. So this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. And if you're in this sector, i.e., for instance, if you're in the food and beverage sector, which is obviously where I am in hospitality, I'm giving people my views and why I'm doing it. So, I'm saying that, look, this is what we're likely to come back to. This is how I think the sector is going to look when we come back to it. And this is how I'm pivoting. And I think you should pivot too in order to take advantage of it. And this is the time to do it. Now, that's advice based upon something quite specific within my area. And I'm also telling people that's what I'm doing. So, I'm practicing what I'm preaching. There are others out there that you see on social media and have done for many, many years, is that, social media can either be a very, very good thing, a very healthy thing, or it can actually be quite unhealthy. What it does is that it makes you feel a bit like the magazines used to, when they used to show a very attractive woman on there and women would feel that that's how they needed to look. And now, or it's, a man full of muscles and, looks amazing. Again, it's all designed to make you feel inferior and to try and aspire to that, which I think just puts pressure on you. It just makes you feel bad about yourself. And some of these social media posts now are very similar. It's like having these guys that used to be stood in front of a Ferrari or in front of a jet. Well, now it's moved on to, it seems to me like you need to be educating yourself. You need to be doing this. You have to be doing that. If you're not doing it, you're losing. If you don't come out of this with 10 new skills, you've lost. Right? It's complete nonsense. It's all down to your personal circumstances. There is no one size fits all. Let's take, for example, take me, for example. I'm 50 years old. Now, if you ignore the fact I have my own business, let's just say I was working for an employer, and I've been furloughed. I've worked my arse off for 33 years, never been unemployed, always worked hard, only taken the holidays that I was entitled to. Now I'm in a unique position where maybe I'm going to be off work for 2-3 months. I might well consider saying, well, okay, you know what? I don't want to do anything. I want to take this opportunity to rest up, chill out, catch up with my Netflix, maybe read a book, spend time with my family, more quality time with them. You got to remember, a lot of people get up in the morning. Their routine is get up in the morning. They're quite often up before their kids are. They're more often than not out of their house before their kids are up, so they don't see them in the morning. They go to work. They spend an hour or 2 hours in traffic or on the train. They work, they skip their lunch or they have half an hour for their lunch, and then they have to do that journey all the way back again. They don't get home till gone 7 o'clock. They've missed their meal with their kids. They might have an hour with them if they're lucky before the kids go to bed, well, maybe even only half an hour. And that's their routine, 5 days out of the 7, for years and years and years. this is the only opportunity that they will ever have in their lifetime to have had 2-3 months off, 80% of their pay paid to them, with probably, I wouldn't say the guarantee of them coming back to a job, but they're going to be no safer and maybe no worse than everyone else. There's nothing that they can do to influence that. So they might as well enjoy the time that they have doing whatever it is that they want to do. Who's to say that that's wrong? Now, if you own your own business, those circumstances might be a little bit different. You might need to continually plan what's going on in your business, what kind of business you're going to come back to, if indeed you're going to come back to a business at all. Strategize, pivot, make all of those plans. But at the same time, if you're like me, and I've explained this before, I no longer get 150 emails a day. I no longer sit in an office and constantly get interrupted every 5 minutes. I don't have to get up as early. So I can actually fit in a lot more into what is still a working day for me and still spend my breakfasts with my kids, my lunch with my kids, go for a walk with my kids, play in the afternoon with my kids, and still get what I need to get done and still feel that I'm growing and expanding my own knowledge. Because I also, for me personally, I still listen to a couple of podcasts a day. I listen to a bit of an audio book, a business audio book, as well as, a fictional book to kind of unwind. I work out in my gym. I still look to and stay in touch with my management team. Some of my business is still working. I've gone and worked in a couple of my businesses to kind of reconnect and also to look at the way in which they're operating and make some various changes. But it's all been pretty comfortable, to be honest with you. We're about to launch some new products online. So for me, that's how I spend my time. But it's a good mix of spending a lot more time with my family as well as doing things that I feel that I still need to do in my business. I think the key to this is, for me, and I think for most people, it should really be that, ownership of your choices that you make in this period. So the choices are yours. And as long as you own the outcome, then that's fine. If you make the decision that you're not going to do anything other than spend time with your kids and family, then don't moan about it when you get to the end of this period and maybe other people advance further than you. Those are the choices you make. You own those choices. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's just all about accepting the choices that you make. For me, if I didn't do some of the things I'm doing now, I would feel that I've wasted this opportunity to actually deep dive into some of the areas of my business and make some changes, because there are going to be a lot of changes and it's going to be a slightly different world that we come back to. You have to live your life, and you can't live it by other people's expectations. And that's the problem with what's going on social media at the moment. Some of it's well-being, some of it's well-intentioned rather, but some of it's also about them selling their products as well. So you'll find that a lot of people that are talking about training are obviously wanting you to buy their training products. You have to educate yourself. You have to do this. Do this online course. Do this. Oh, and by the way, I happen to sell an online course. You've got to live your life by your own expectations and not live it through other people's eyes. Don't feel pressured into doing these things. That's the problem with social media. It does pressurize you. If you live a lot of your life on social media, you'll see it. Literally, you get bombarded at the moment. Do this, do that, do that. And look, I've put posts out there saying, I think if you're in this position, you should do this. And if you're in that position, you should do that. But I'm not selling the product there. I'm not trying to sell you anything. All I'm saying is that, look, in my experience of what I went through in 2008, these are the things that happened. And in order to take advantage of them, I think you should do that. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I quite often try to avoid advice and simply say that this is what I'm doing. And the other thing is like I said, a lot of these people don't practice what they preach. A lot of them are bullshitters, and they've people have been around for years. They've been the people that have stood in front of the Ferrari and the aeroplanes and all the rest of it, and they are fake. Don't get sucked into it. When I personally talk about advice, I give it for the areas that I'm connected to. So the food and beverage, it's business and sharing my knowledge, and also my personal actions. It's my truth and it's applicable to me. It's my personal choice. I do not want to get to the end of this lockdown period and feel that I didn't expand my knowledge or use the time productively. But that's my world. That's only what is applicable to me. As I said, if I hadn't owned my own business, I could well be that 50-year-old saying, what, sod it, I don't want to do anything other than chill out with my family and catch up with my Netflix. Some of the examples of the things I'm looking to do that aren't just related to business. I'm looking to, I've always fancied learning a language, and I've started to literally started to try and learn a bit of Italian. I've increased my podcast to 3 a week. I'm still going to the gym, so hopefully I'll come out of this even, a bit fitter. On my business side of things, I'm in touch with a lot of people where, I know money's going to be tight for a lot of people. So instead of actually asking for fees, I'm asking to partner with them. I'm collaborating with them in lieu of my normal fees, creating new services. We're just about to launch my new personal website, which talks about me being a speaker, going to speaking events, launching my mentorship courses, but that's personal to me. And I'm also now launching one of our business websites that is launching a product and a number of products and services which we've never done before, relating to consultancy and our virtual kitchen products that we're now going to sell to other businesses, which we've never done before. We've only operated those internally. So again, I'll come out at the end of this with a number of new products and launch them before we come out at the end of this. So that's time well spent for me and my team. But that's not everyone else's life. I'm not ramming it down people's throats. I think it's very disappointing to see so much on social media just pushing and trying to make people feel that they're somehow almost going to be a failure if they don't do this in this period. As long as you can look at yourself in the mirror at the end of this and say, yeah, you know what, I'm happy with the way in which I spent my time. I feel that, I've been productive. I've stayed safe. I've kept my family safe. I've done the things that I wanted to do in that period. Then, you know what, screw everyone else. That's good enough in my book. I don't know about everyone else, but I'm actually quite enjoying this lockdown now. After the first 2 weeks, which were really quite hectic and organising things and doing a lot of administrative side of stuff. I've still got a load of stuff to do that I want to get done. But the mix of spending with family and just chilling, as well as mixing it with work and doing these extra podcasts and things like that, I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't think I'll go back to the same sort of working method that I had prior to this, as I don't think a lot of other people will. It's been quite refreshing. But at the same time, I do feel that I'm being quite productive as well. So, but I do have my times when I have self-doubt. When I look at some of the social media posts and I see it from, quite a lot of people, even people, a lot of people that I actually respect as well. And it's constantly, because I'm in a lot of business networks. So you can imagine you don't get a very mixed view on that. Everyone is push. They're all talking business still. It's all, oh, get this done. Oh, I've done this. I've done that. It's quite easy to feel that, oh shit, I'm falling behind here. Why are these people so much more productive than me? Quite often I just come out of those networks now and just go, right, actually, you know what, sod it. Some of them are probably bullshit. Others are good for them if that's what they want to do. But it can sometimes feel that the whole world is progressing and you're not. When the reality is that Facebook group or that LinkedIn group is probably only got a few thousand people in it. It's, a very small percentage of people. and a lot of it is bullshit as well. So, you know, sometimes you just have to have a bit of a reality check and step away from it. You know, I occasionally do step away from social media because sometimes I find it a little bit overwhelming, or I use it, put my posts out there and then just stay away from it and not listen to some of the other bullshit that goes on. It's a bit like watching the news every single day. You know, you don't really want to keep on dwelling on everything that's coming out in the news either. Anyway, look, again, what I would say is this is just my opinion or opinions. I just thought it'd be good to share it with people because I do know how I feel sometimes when I'm seeing so much on social media that seems to be implying that everyone is making success and achieving things, and it makes you feel that you're not. You know, as I said, get to the end of this, and if you're happy with the way in which you've functioned during this period and the things that you've achieved, just remember the choices are yours, and as long as you own the outcome, then that's fine. No one can tell you that you've spent your time unproductively. So look, I've increased my podcast now to 3 a week, so they should come out on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Do tune in. I'll be talking about various subjects. If there's anyone that you know of, or maybe it's yourself that would like to be interviewed, please reach out. Let me have your feedback and tune in again. So take care of yourself, stay safe.